to the channel people. We're here with channel favorite Omar, Ramos. He just got third in Vegas.
Yep, this past weekend at the Vegas Regional.
And we're
playing DDD.
Hey, do you have any comments before we start into this? Shout outs?
Yeah, shout out to Paragon, best new local here in Utah. I guess shout out to Joe. Yeah, and then shout out to everyone from Utah, you, Ponce, Oscar, Corbin, Jesus, Andreas, Nico was on fire that day. Shout out to Nico. Shout out to Briss for the whole trip. And then I know there's more people here now, but yeah. And then I said, shout out to my mom. She was checking up on me the whole weekend, so she's broken. And then, yeah, that's really it.
Let's get into it, man.
Alright, sweet. So yeah, I was playing DDD, like I said. That's 42 cards. So I played 3 Kepler. It's the one that searches everything, so you always want to open it. Along with 3 Copernicus. This is a foolish one, instead of any foolish card. Or foolish as any DD or Dark Contract. And then, yes, it's Fusions. And so I'm starting with all my starters. So then I also play the 3 Dark Contracts, which is any DD monster. Then base damage, take 1,000. Then I played 2 Peri Rice Map. It's the one that searches a monster with 0 attack. And then you have your life points, but it's not a cost, so if they ash you, you don't have your life. And then I played 1 for 1. So it's 12 starters. It's optimal where you see like over 80% of seeing 1. So it's all you need really. And then I don't want to play 3 of this just because like half of my life, like you can like end up having 2,000 life and then that can kill you sometimes, which happens to me.
Yeah.
So that's why I switched it out for a 1 for 1, and that was just fine too.
Yeah, 1 for 1's good.
Yeah, it is. Then I also played 3 Griffin. This card's insane. Like if you don't know what it does, you should read it now. It has 4 different effects. It just summons stuff for free. If it's pen summon, you get to draw a card. Then if it's summon from grave, add any DD card. And then if it's in the scale, you can boost up a DD monster. A Fiend monster you can control at 500 for each different Dark Contract. And it helps because if you have to run over Dragoon, you can just crash into Dragoon with your big Maki next guy. So the card's insane. I played 2 Orthros just for the back row deck. And then it also helps to make Siegfried 2 in the extra. And then I played 1 Thomas. It's Oath Dragon. It just helps you recur your plays every turn and get advantage. 1 Ragnarok, card's insane. Summons back anything, and then you can tribute to banish something. And then I also played these for the 1 card Kepler, because I think it comes up and it's very important to do. And then this card's insane too. And then also with this card too, like it happened like twice throughout the weekend where if it's in the scale, you don't take effect damage. Yeah. And against Prinkets, if they summon fire, they try to use the effect. They can't do it because they have to burn and then summon. So if you have this in the scale, they can't even do that. So if they just, it happened once where like someone summoned fire, attempt to do the effect, and like you can't because I can't burn, and he just passed. So and then, yeah, it's unfortunate for him. And then the rest of the DD monsters, the Swirl Slime, the one that fuses from your hand. And then if it's engraved, you banish it, summon a DD monster, and you can do both effects, which is insane. 1 Necro, just because it's kind of bad to draw. You won't ever want to send it with your Copernicus, or if you have it in hand, you can pitch it with Griffin and draw a card. But it just fuses from grave. And the same thing with this. Like I think this card is very important, just because like it gives you another line to fuse, and then which is what you need to like make like a god board. And then 1 Lamia. Like you hardly ever use it to make it as a tuner. Like it comes up like every now and then. But it's just there to like make a body, or like if you want to, you can like OTK, like with the extra deck. You can like if you have this, which happened once. Like if you make this and you go Lamia effect, because this says it negates any effect that would summon a monster, so it's you or your opponent. So if I have this, I go Lamia effect, I go negate, bump up my monsters, and attack for game. So it comes up for that.
Plus you're locked into fiends, so you can't like needle fiber combo.
Yeah, that's true. And then for the 1-ofs, 1 Swamp King, it's a Miracle Fusion. 1 this. I think this card's good just because it brings extra lines to the whole combos and stuff. And like not only that, when Jobless gets more popular and stuff, this in the field spell is just insane just because like if your opponent summons a monster from the extra deck the same type as a DD monster you control, which is Link, Fusion, XYZ, whatever, they take 1,000 and can summon that same type for the rest of the turn as long as this is face up. So against like, you know, base, they can't ever like, you know, if it gets base, you know, you have Gilgamesh up, they can't ever like go into like DP unless they make Anaconda first, but like they never do because they like normal summon Sangan and then make Omar. I'm like, okay, effect. I'm like, what? Does something? I'm like, yeah, it does. So then like they just have to pass, and so, and then that's any DD card from your extra deck or your grave to your hand if it's sent, wherever it's sent. So if it's like from deck, hand, or field, it just gets to add 1 DD card or monster. And then Headhunt, this card's insane too. If you control DDD monster, it can snatch steal an opponent's monster you control. And then if it was someone from the extra deck, it becomes a DDD on your side. So like during your turn, because you still can control of it. like if you control the needle fiber, you just overlay this guy on top of it, and then they're like, what, it does that? I'm like, yeah, it does. And then just read the cards. And then for non-engine, I played hand traps, 3 nib, 3 ash, 3 ogre, and I switched to 3 imperm instead of Valor, like in packs list. I just think this card's like a little bit more versatile, and especially in like regionals too, because like I was expecting to play more trap decks, and this is like more offensive against trap decks, because like if it's a slow game, because like they can never kill you in like a couple turns. You just set this in front of a floodgate, and then if it bypasses you that one turn, then you win the game. So I thought they were all the best hand traps of the format.
Did you ever run out of back row because you have scales, or no?
No, because like normally, depending what combo you do, like if you do like the Thomas Griffin combo, you can pop this, and then if you have a contract up too, which is this, like the next turn you can just go ahead, switch ortho scale, and then every turn will just pop a back row. So it's just insane for that. And like no matter what, like if they can't get rid of this card, like every turn you're gonna pop a floodgate, and then you're just gonna get more advantage through that.
Nice.
Then go on to the extra.
And you finished X1, right?
X1, yep.
Yep.
And then extra 3 Gilgamesh. This card's insane. If you haven't read it, please read it. It says, so if it's summon, if it's just ever special summon, so even if you summon it from grave, it triggers. It can place 2 DD pendulums from your deck in your skills that take 1,000 damage. They're locked into DDDs. But if they Valor it, it's not a cost, so you won't see the damage, and then you're not locked, so it's good. And if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, then you can summon any DDD from your grave or extra deck in defense. And it was kind of crazy because like a lot of people would ogre this card. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, set my scales effect. I'm like, what does it do? I'm like, summons any DDD. Really? I'm like, yeah. So I'd summon like the rank 4, Maki next, and like, just game over from there. And then that's the only link I played. And then XT is 1 Zeus. It comes up like more often than not. I kind of want to play a second one to be honest, but the extra deck's so tight to where like the 15th card could be a Zeus, but I'll show you what I played instead. And instead I played 3 of the Maki necks. I think this card is just insane. Like sometimes you have to burn through 1 for a combo, so you have to like end on the second, and then like even if they break through the board, I always like having the third just because like just having a 3,000 body that can just pretty much snatch steal anything at any time. It's just insane. And then it turns any triple D into this, and then like with the headhunt too, like if you take control of a monster from the extra deck, you just overlay on top of this guy. Yeah, it's just insane.
Just keep it.
And like like it's just an insane card. And I played 1 of the rank 6, solemn warning on legs, not once per turn, which people didn't think. And so like some dude went right, and then I'm like, okay. Then normal sort of prank it, effect, I'm like negate. He's like, you can do it again. I'm like, yeah. And so just insane. And if you send Field of Grave, adds any dark contract. And then 1 King Tail, this is the one that ranks over this guy. And then he's not once per turn, to where if you take effect damage, you can detach 1, target a monster on the field, lose 1,000 attacks. You can do that twice if you summon it back. And then if it's set for Field of Grave, it foolishes any DD or dark contract. And then this one, the only relevant effect is if it's set for Field of Grave, adds any dark contract. But then with this too, it helps you in time because, like, just very quickly. I've done this before, but let's say you make this, detach target itself, burn, and then you go send this to grave, and then effect you'll send the field spell from your deck to your grave, and then normally you'll have like, let me see where they're at, like a Genghis or something, and then like you'll summon something. And then with the field spell, you'll put back your rank 5, and then you'll summon something, summon this back, and then you go summon this guy again because it's not once per turn. Then in fact, burn him again, you win in time like that. So it's cool that this deck has like so many different interactions that your opponent doesn't know about.
There's like infinite different cards.
Yeah.
I was like, it definitely feels like you just win sometimes because your opponents just don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, that's what happened in rounds 1 through 7. It's just because no one knew what my deck did.
1 through 7.
1 through 7, no one knew what my deck did. And then like the last round opponent is just unfortunate. I had the God board, and then game 2 he bricked, and then yeah. But the Synchro with 1 Baron is needed because like if you have like the Swirl Sign combo, you can end on with this too. So it's just insane. 1 Siegfried, it's like a hot red on legs. For spells and traps, it just negates a face spell trap effect till the next standby phase, which is pretty good. And then for the fusions, I played 1 High Flame King Genghis. It's just if you normal special DD, you can summon a DD from your grave, and then it negates the spell or trap also. And then this one is you play 2 of it, so you can make the rank 6. But this one's if you special summon a DD, you can special a DD from your grave. So very, very broken. And then side deck, 3 Gamma, 1 Driver. Throughout the weekend I drew this more, but the last round I drew this. Didn't get a drop season, it got me there.
Got him.
And then 3 Token Collector, just for all the Brave decks and for the Cybers, whatever. Just didn't want him to go off. 3 Lancia for Flunder, because I hate that deck. 3 Evenly, just because coming into the regional, you're going to play more Rogue. And so like I thought this would be better, and it did help me against my Eldritch matchup. 1 Red Reboot. Shout out to Albert from Phoenix. You're God for letting me keep this. Because I didn't have one, but I needed one. And then I resolved it once, but it got negated, but it didn't matter. And then 1 Dark Contract with Error. Same thing. It's just because it's a searchable road to create in your deck to where
all broken.
it just negates face those trap cards. And then like if Eldritch can't resolve, then you just kill them. So
Yeah, it's a free win against Eldritch.
yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's the whole deck.
Let's go. YCS's, we'll see you there, I guess.
Yeah, I'll be there not at Charlotte, but all the other ones after that.
Hey, DDD.
Yep.
DDD squad.
Yep.
Signing out.